I want you to imagine that you hate how your body looks, but not in a, oh, I look so overweight or underweight way. Imagine that you hate how your body looks, most of the parts that remind you of your birth gender, or how you look so masculine or so feminine. It stresses you out, it makes you anxious, you want to cover up so that no one, including you, won't notice any of those traits. Now, if you succeeded to imagine those things I listed are only a few symptoms of gender dysphoria, which most transgender people go through. As I said, most. One doesn't have to have gender dysphoria to be trans. Now let's take the scenario a little further. People around you are telling you to snap out of it. Oh, it's just a phase, you'll grow out of it. The closest ones to you, bullying you, harassing you, abusing you. Your friendships and relationships start to fall apart just because you feel like you don't belong in your body. A random person on the street calls you a slur for it, a classmate makes fun of you for it, a friend insults you for it. Now, that is transphobia, something most trans people have to deal with every day. Okay, I've been talking about those trans people, all well and good, but who are these people? It may be a classmate, your coworker, a family member, some stranger you bumped into. You wouldn't even know. A transgender person is someone who doesn't identify as their birth gender. And cis is the opposite. The word cis is used for people who do identify as their birth gender. Transsexuality has various types. It divides into two categories at first, binary and non-binary. The binary part consists of female to male and male to female. The non-binary part consists of agender, bigender, gender fluid, pangender, and a few more. So, some people think it's fine to disrespect trans people for various reasons. This so-called reason is sometimes religion, laws, personal opinions, etc. But it isn't a smart move to harass someone for something they can't control, right? Also, something you may not have heard of before. There are more than two biological genders. Oh, biological? Isn't it only male and female? Not really. There's this one I really wanted to talk about. Intersex. An intersex person is someone whose biology doesn't match the typical male or female bodies. There are many different ways someone can be intersex. Some intersex people have genitals or internal organs that fall outside of the male and female categories. Other intersex people have combinations of chromosomes that are different than XY and XX, like XXY. And some people are born with external genitals that fall into the typical male-female categories, but their internal organs and hormones don't. According to the data from the 2015 US Transgender Survey, 98% of the respondents who faced the 4 instances of discrimination stated that they had thought about suicide that year. 51% of them attempted suicide. These instances consist of lack of equal treatment, rejection from family, physical attack in public places, and lack of gender-affirming care. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but there's this made-up sexuality trending at the moment. They call it super straight. The so-called sexuality is not valid. How? Super straight people claim that they don't want to date transgenders, which is totally normal as a preference. Making it into a sexuality is just transphobic. Let me explain. Let's say I don't like blonde guys. It would be my preference, but would it be my sexuality? Totally not. I would also like to talk about pronouns. What do pronouns have to do with this transphobia? Well, some transphobic people refuse to use people's preferred pronouns. Not using someone's preferred pronouns and not referring to them as the gender they identify with is commonly called misgendering. Have you ever heard of the singular they? Singular what? isn't they the polar version of he or she? Well, not all the time. I understand how it can be confusing, so why don't we watch a video from Brain Pop to understand it better?
If I were talking about two robots, I'd use a plural pronoun, like Meet, Moby, and Orbot. They are my best friends. Actually, yeah, they can be used as a singular pronoun too. Like if you said, I'm going to see my friend, I could ask, where do they live? Since I don't know your friend's gender identity. And some individuals prefer they as a pronoun. Like Meet Orbot, they are my best friend. It was just an example.
Always remember, not being transphobic doesn't make you a super duper good person. Trans people trying to feel comfortable in their own skin and with their own identity doesn't become less valid when someone says otherwise. Trans people are real and valid. They aren't others. They are one of everyone. Thank you.